If you are daydreaming about waterfront living but worried that it might be out of your budget, I have a really great news because we're going to highlight 3 of the most affordable waterfront towns in eastern North Carolina. All of these locations are going to have average home prices well below the national average and waterfront living opportunities for as low as $300,000. My name is Emily. I am a real estate broker with Real in Greenville, North Carolina, and my brand covers all of the 252 area code section of the state, which is the northeastern portion of the state. And while I don't personally service every single area, I am more than happy to connect you with trusted contacts in any location that you are interested in purchasing in throughout North Carolina. So if you have any interest in any of these or other towns throughout the state, send me an email at emily@emilymcallister.com and I will be happy to put you in touch with all of the right people to make your relocation or purchase as seamless as possible. Okay, in no particular order, we are going to begin with Washington, North Carolina. This is an area that I personally service. This is only about 30 minutes east of Greenville, and Washington is the county seat of Beaufort County. So this is actually going to be the most affordable of the 3. So I guess there is an order because we're going to go from most affordable to most expensive while still being affordable. And Washington is a town of about 10,000 people. So it's very small, but you have access to all of the amenities of a large area with a full service ED, plenty of shopping, restaurants, and you're only a 30-minute drive from Greenville with even more shopping, restaurants, a larger hospital with more specialized care, and a university. So you get all of the perks of being within very easy commuting distance of that, with an average sale price in this area of just $250,000. So Washington is affectionately known by the locals as Little Washington, as it was named after the capital, Washington, D.C., and the downtown area sits right on the Pamlico River. So there is a boardwalk that overlooks the water. There's plenty of public boat docking available. So if you live in the area or are visiting, you can drive your boat right up to the downtown area and dock and get out and walk around and shop and eat. Live music occasionally is held down here. There is an estuarium down here, which is kind of like a life and sciences museum. Lots of small businesses, pretty much exclusively throughout downtown Washington. It is small businesses, and they have a really decent mix of residential and commercial property down here. So you'll find a couple of condos kind of intermittently dispersed throughout this area that are very walkable. And then the historic district also is within walking and or biking distance to this area also, which is going to provide a lot of residential inventory as well. Next up is New Bern, North Carolina. This is not an area that I personally service, but I really love frequenting New Bern. In my opinion, New Bern has one of the best downtown areas in the eastern part of the state. It is the most expansive with the most amount of restaurants and things to do. And they host a slew of events throughout the year, like Mumfest, things for St. Patrick's Day. At one point, they were doing something called Music in the Streets. I'm not sure if they still do that, but that was an event where they closed the street off and had live music in the evening time. And they also do all kinds of like ghost tours and things like that around the downtown area. New Bern is the second oldest town in North Carolina, and it is situated on the water where the Neuse and Trent River meet. So in comparing New Bern to Washington, what you'll find is 2 very similar vibes, but New Bern's downtown is just much larger. So there's going to be more residential and commercial opportunities in this downtown area. The town itself has a larger population. It's about 30,000 people. It is the county seat of Craven County, and there are really great schools here. Craven Community College is also located here, and you're about an hour east of Greenville, which is going to be your next largest town. So you also have access to Carolina East Medical Center, which is a full-service hospital with a full-service ED. Same concept as all of the community of small-town living, with the luxuries of a larger city's amenities within a very short commute. The average home sale price in the New Bern area is going to be $270,000, so a bit more expensive than Washington, but still very affordable, and waterfront options are going to start as low as $350,000 in this area. Some Some of the most expensive residential real estate in this town is going to be in the historic district of downtown New Bern, where you're going to find prices creep up into north of $750,000. There are certainly luxury properties available here, but overall, the majority of the real estate is very affordable. New Bern is a little bit farther east, so it's a bit easier of a commute by boat if you wanted to head to the Inner Banks or the Intracoastal from New Bern, and there are several marinas in the area that do year-round maintenance and storage of boats. And last but certainly not least, Swansboro, North Carolina, which is located the farthest east. It sits directly on the Intracoastal at the beach. So this is a 25-minute drive from the beach at Emerald Isle. So there's public beach access there for locals and or visitors. And while being the smallest town in population at just 3,200, affectionately known as the friendly city by the sea, this town is actually the most connected to the other communities around it, because in driving through this area, you're not going to realize that you have left Swansboro and are now entering Cape Carteret or Cedar Point or Newport. All of these towns kind of merge together, so you're going to have access to amenities that cater to each of these locations up and down Highway 58. Swansboro is also a very historic area, and similarly to New Bern and Washington, all of the downtown businesses are going to be locally owned, as well as the restaurants. The average sale price for the town of Swansboro is going to be the most expensive of the three towns that we've discussed, coming in at $300,000, with waterfront options as low as $400,000. Majority because of the location, being that it is the farthest city east, and such a quick drive to the beach. Obviously, the real estate gets more expensive, but still very affordable in comparison to island living, which I feel confident will be featured at some point on this channel. So if you have interest in that, stick around. But this is also one of my favorite places to frequent. My parents live in Emerald Isle, and so it's nothing for us to hop in the car and shoot up to Swansboro for an afternoon to walk around or to attend an event. They do a big 4th of July celebration, and Christmas they do a boat parade with lights and all that kind of good stuff. So my biggest piece of advice to you in Swansboro specifically is that if you are visiting this area, specifically downtown, you consolidate to the least amount of vehicles possible or take an Uber, because parking is a bit of a challenge in the downtown area, but it is absolutely worth it if you can get an afternoon to walk around and check out all of the shops and all of the people. There is a very small historic residential area of downtown Swansboro, but inventory there is very limited. The majority of your housing options are going to be in town, and that's going to be a 5 to 12 minute commute from the downtown area. So those are your three very affordable waterfront towns in eastern North Carolina. Keep in mind that the prices discussed in this video are averages, so you can always find things less or more expensive in any of these locations. But overall, if you are working with a budget of $500,000 or less, you are going to have your pick of the litter in inventory for any of these locations. And so you can get really prime move-in ready real estate in any of these towns for that amount or less. All of these towns are really big hits for retirees, for families that are looking for a slower paced lifestyle, that their dollar might go a little bit farther because the cost of living is less, and for remote workers who are wanting to trade in their city apartment for a better view while still enjoying the benefit of a higher salary. So if you have any questions about any of these three cities, drop them in the comment box below. You can also send me an email at emily@emilymcallister.com. And don't forget, this is the beginning of a series, so there are going to be 4 additional videos on each of these towns, going even more in depth about specifically what they offer in terms of entertainment and real estate. So don't forget to like and subscribe for alerts on all of those videos.